How have you seen the profit taking? $200 done in 3 trading sessions. Markets were readying themselves for a profit taking because one, the run up had been too much too soon, and there was a vaccine in any case coming, and some profit taking was expected. We did see a knee jerk reaction, but the kind of decline that we've seen, how do you read that?
Well, good afternoon, Manisha. Yeah, it was totally overboard, as you can, and you've summarised that pretty much, across everything. Gold was terribly overbought, and silver more so. The other thing, of course, is that raising of gold futures initial margin by CME Group for Comex. You're up about 6.9% on the margin for gold futures, but more importantly, silver's going to be up 15.2% to nearly 13,250 per contract. So that really impacts as far as margin requirements. That also is a very large handbrake, wrapped up as well with vaccine and Russia, which was the caveat that everyone understood. So, yeah, Treasury yields also from that negative side coming up a little bit more in the positive territory, Manisha. US dollar index up and gold takes a washout.
So question from here really is, Peter, on people, investors, that is, we have seen redemptions on ETF coming. Speculators seem to be winding their long positions as well. Clearly, from 2080 to 1880 on the lower side, there has been a lot of positions that have been squared off. But from these levels, what is your sense? Do you see new buyers come in now, or the buyers who are stuck on the higher side are still finding ways to exit?
Well, the buyers coming in now have got to pay a higher margin. There's the first side. Second side is, which is the interesting, a couple of hours ago it was 1879. I went, well, there's every chance you could see an 1860 handle before, New York opens tonight, possibly in European trade. It's bounced 45 bucks. It's, 1921, 1922 at the moment. And there's every chance that you're going to see that continual push up from here. I wouldn't be surprised to see another, $10 or $15 in short time, a run up. And as far as I think it's got to consolidate a little bit, you've got to get a floor to it. You've got to find out what's happening. It's really, those big volatility swings are creating wonderful opportunities for traders that are in for a matter of minutes or hours, Manisha. So for a longer term perspective, I think it's still going to be up from here, but it's going to be a wild ride. And strap yourself in. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So, Peter, would you say that we've already made our highs for this year, at least 2080? Because we've seen 1450 of a support in this year. I mean, the lower level has been 1450, higher as 2080. Where do you see the prices now ending this year?
Oh, Manisha, we've got 4.5 months away. We've got an election. We've got China and Trump at each other's throat. I think that's going to actually get worse as each week goes on leading up to the election. I can't see President Trump by nature backing off. So I think that you're going to create more uncertainty, which is going to push gold a little bit higher from here. Will it take out that 2080 number again? I think it will. And that's between now and Christmas or New Year. So I think it's going to be in the 2100s. You might hit 22, but it's going to be very volatile. I don't think that's going to back off.
And what's your sense on silver? Because we see... Sorry, go on.
The caveat has got to be what happens as far as a vaccine. That's the big one, because that's the unknown. If they get a vaccine and there's 3 or 4 countries get it together as far as pharmaceutical companies or government initiative, scientific labs, and they can quash it, then that's a game changer. And sorry, you were saying about silver?
Yes, I was asking you about silver as well. So clearly, vaccine is a number to watch out there. But for silver prices also, it has been quite volatile. I mean, the last 3 months is what silver has gone up, come back around those levels, still off the kind of lows that we've made for this year. But what's your range for this one?
In the last 3 or 4 days, silver's down, hit a blow of down nearly 20% from that high. So it's back at about 25 bucks now, but it was under $24, and it was nearly $30. So that's just incredible in 3 days. I feel as though that silver's, again, still got that momentum to the upside, but the caveat on that one is 15.2%. They've raised the margin requirement on Comex So it's up now at $13,250 a contract for Comex silver, which I think is going to deter. It doesn't give you enough firepower. In other words, you've got to add more money to your silver positions to go long or short, Manisha. So it may not allow as much speculation, but as you know, anything that's moving, it grabs commodity speculators, and boy, oh boy, do they chase the fast money.
So, Peter, one final question. This one is on base metals, because not only have we seen a decline in gold and silver, but something seems to be weighing on the metal prices also, 1 to 2% of a decline across both there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, these will drag it down. You're going to see that softness as far as precious. It's going to drag the other brothers down, and that wouldn't be unusual in these sort of times. And when you see big washouts of silver, and from an industrial demand perspective, Manisha, down, you know, nearly 20% from highs to lows in 3 days, it's going to drag everything. And all I'll say is if it's only off a couple of percent for the likes of copper, nickel, lead and zinc, then they've been saved a little bit. But it's going to be volatile, and I can't see that changing over the rest of the year, Manisha. And keep an eye on that US dollar index.